The PL Show is brought to you by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil.
One of the most important things to do as an achiever is to tell your stories to motivate others, and that is why on the PL Show we share with you stories of empowered women to empower you. My name is Ekua Asanteba, and this is the PL Show, which is proudly brought to you by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil. Roma and Tonto Master and Feco Spray Starch look sharp. And today's episode is proudly hosted in the heart of the city by the Accra City Hotel, and I am beautifully clothed by Mode HQ. We will be going for a break. When we come back, I will introduce to you my guest for today's episode.
Should you rumor to me?
And Tonto Master, a baby, you want to so madahati. Roma Insecticide Spray ada Roma. Interfere, Entatia, make a cheha. No way! Shemikuno, and Tonton Bako crown fanimo, and also a pussy. Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil. And how dare we show? Roma, Ekua!
Roma and Tonto Master.
Wow! My uniform looks different.
Feco Spray Starch, Majimo Point. Ratchet, pause. When you want to remember Namunto the Moon, I feel you spray starch, Papa. On particles be water, no wrinkles, smooth iron.
Yes, Papa. Feco Spray Starch. Me here perfume.
Also, yes, guy. Feco Spray Starch.
Look sharp.
Look sharp. Look sharp.
You're welcome back from the break. It's still the PL Show, and we'll be delving straight into a conversation with our phenomenal woman for the day. Come with me. I have with me in the studio a very beautiful lady who is doing something quite out of the norm, you may say. Before I go into having a conversation with her, kindly let's take a look at this video. We'll be right back.
She's a sports lady, as most people call her now. Finding herself in a discipline that is not often ventured by women, she has managed to create a business out of it, with women and children being her main target. Cathy Morton is a CEO of Actively Sports Events Ltd and a managing partner of Millennium Marathon. Cathy has broken the barrier with the Women's 5K Run Ghana, where she encourages, promotes and creates awareness about social issues affecting women through sport. Actively Sports has proven competent, as it is the first and only company in Ghana to run a mini marathon for children. Cathy combines being a mother, wife and her entrepreneurship life so well that seems flawless. Today on the PL Show, we celebrate a legend who has just begun.
Cathy Morton. I mean, you look like a model. You look fantastic. You decide to do sports. Why sports?
Yes, I think, like you said in the introduction, sports is something that you wouldn't associate with women, because naturally women are seen to be like the weaker sex, and sports is something that is manly and requires a lot of energy. And ability. But I love sports. I found sports by chance because I found it as a way to exercise, to keep fit. After I had my kids, I was overweight and I was looking to shed the weight, and then I found running. And that's where the whole story started, with me being in sports.
So how long have you been doing this?
So I've been doing this since 2014. So I'll say 5 years now.
Wow,
yes, I've been in the sports business for 5 years.
And now you are actually doing it as a full-time job.
Yes.
How has it been?
Well, like any business, being an entrepreneur is challenging in itself, and particularly being sports. Sports in developing countries is something that is not very established. So there are other things that are vying for our nation's time and resources, and so it's still a developing area. But it's very fulfilling for me because I see what sports does for people, the economic empowerment that it gives to people, believe it or not, and the joy that it brings to people who either practice sports as a profession or as something to keep fit. And so I just live every day with that feeling of joy when I see people practicing sports and when I'm able to put these sports events together and have people actually participate in it. So.
Tell me about your typical day.
Sometimes I wake up a bit early. I probably would do like a 30 minutes on the treadmill, a little bit of weight training, and then I get my family ready, my kids ready for school, and then I go to the office. So sports is not just always being on the field or whatever. There's a lot of administrative stuff to it.
Right.
What we do, it's a sports events and management company. So we plan towards the sporting events that we organize. And then, so later on in the day, I would go to probably the tennis courts, because currently we have a sports training events going on. So we have women who come to learn how to play tennis, and it's called the Play Tennis by Match Challenge.
Where?
So we do it at the Accra Sports Stadium. We have different facilities that we actually use, but our main, like our home, is the Accra Sports Stadium. It takes a lot of time and a lot of planning to put our events together. We have an event that brings together over 4,000 children and 2,000 parents.
Wow.
And that's a lot. We work with over 80
that's
schools.
The kiddie
That's the
mouse.
kiddie mile race. And it involves over 80 schools. So in the morning, my whole day I spend for the past 2 to 3 months in schools. So going to schools, talking to children, talking to heads of schools, talking to sponsors, trying to bring this whole event together. It's a lot of work. And so
definitely.
even though the fun side of it is me going to play tennis or badminton, you have to get the work done because there are people who rely on you. I have staff, I have families, parents who are looking to come to a great event.
Talking about parents, how have they received this so far?
I think it's been amazing. We started Kiddie Mile Race 4 years ago, and there was nothing like it. So when I started sports, my first role was as a race director, which was something that is new to me. So a race director is somebody who puts together a race, plans the routes, looks at all the logistics, officiating, and make sure that the race goes properly. And the Millennium Marathon, it's like it is the international marathon we have in Ghana. My role was the race director for a couple of years, and we were doing the marathon and we realized that parents were coming to the race with their children, but the race is for adults, and so children couldn't have an opportunity to be part of it. So I was like, why don't we do a marathon for children alone so that they get to feel the excitement, experience of what a marathon is. So we came up with the Kiddie Mile Race, which is like a mini mile races for children. So we have children as young as 3 years, all the way to 15.
I should bring my kids.
It's a joy to watch to see a 3-year-old, because most parents think like, oh, my child is too young. He or she can't run. They cover? Yeah, so for example, 3 to 4 years does a distance of 0.2 miles, which is probably around 400 meters.
Okay, so for the lay person at home, what distance? So let's take maybe
a football field. Going round a football field, like a proper standard size. So going once round.
And a 3-year-old can do that.
So you'd be amazed. A 3-year-old can do that and more. So that is a challenge that we give to you. We are teaching children to challenge themselves. And our slogan is be your own hero, because once they do it and they get to the finish line and they get their finisher's medal, they feel that sense of joy and pride. And we're trying to instill that in children at that very young age.
Let me interject here. I'm asking this particularly because when you talk about safety, I'm a mother, so I'm a bit, worried.
Yes, so running doesn't require equipment. You just need something to run on. And so running doesn't require any equipment. So Kiddie Mile Race is done in an open space.
But you don't train before?
So usually we deal with the schools and we have physical education instructors that we work with. They try to get the kids to prepare for the race day. So they do a little bit of training in schools during their PE sessions to get them fit. But we also encourage children not to overexert themselves. So we tell them that the goal is the finish line and not finish times. I feel like we're in an era where loving the outdoors is not so out there. When I was growing up, our parents used to let us
True, the armpits and the
run
tomatoes.
around and make ourselves dirty.
know.
Dirt is good. Make ourselves dirty, and then we come back home and we are
Technology
tired.
is taking over.
Exactly.
I mean,
So we're trying to bring that back. You know, the love of the outdoors.
It's very
Let kids go
important.
out there and explore and have
let's
fun.
have an armpit competition. Let's talk about the statistics when it comes to women in sports. How many women averagely do we have in sports?
Yes,
currently?
so women in sports, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of women in sports internationally and locally. So averagely, you'd have just about 3% of women in the top tier of administration in sports. And some of the challenges I've said, due to the fact that we feel that sports is a male, it's a manly industry,
Activity, yeah.
but there's so many things to sports. Sports administration has got it's got nothing to do with strength. It's got more to do with your managerial capabilities, your ideas, and being able to manage and put things in place. And so I know that the International Olympic Committee has charged nations and national committees to try and increase the quota of women. We recently had a conference of women in sports in Ghana, which I was part of, and I was a speaker, to try and encourage more women to take up roles. And we feel that women are good managers. I feel women are good managers, and we have so much to bring to the sport. However, it takes women to be in those positions to encourage other women to also want to come on board. Women don't see sports as a viable professional skill or a viable avenue to do business or to be part of, but it is. And whether you're an athlete, you want to be a practicing athlete, or you want to be in sports administration, I think that it's an area where you can explore and actually excel.
Okay, well, so Actively Sports Events Limited, you are doing the Kiddie Mile Challenge. Apart from that, is there anything else?
Yes, so we do the Kiddie Mile race, which is like a flagship event that we do in the whole of Accra. This year we're going to go to Kumasi as well. So we also engage in other sporting activities. We are currently running a tennis program. We're going to start a tennis program for children between the ages of 6 to 14 years.
Why tennis? Why not choose any other thing?
So we know football. Football is it's all over. Ghana is known for football, but I also feel that there's an opportunity to develop lesser known sports. 20, 30 years ago, Ghana was doing very well, the days of Francophorie and the likes, who were in the Davis Cup. I was growing up and I knew Francophorie because I saw him on TV playing tennis for Ghana, and I love tennis. Tennis is a great sport, so I feel that developing, we have a lot of potential. I play at Accra Sports Stadium and I see the talent that we have, the children that come there, some as young as 4 years, and you can see that these are children who, if are given the right coaching and the right opportunity, can excel. So we want to take tennis, we want to take tennis to schools, and we want to start this academy of training kids to play tennis. So this is something that we are currently working on for Actively Sports. And then what we do else is she plays GH, which is a women's community organization that is helping women to take up sports as a hobby or as a tool to empower themselves. And so we have volleyball, we have badminton, and we have tennis. And we teach women through coaches how to play these sports, most of whom have no experience. Most of them are mothers, working class women who want to find a hobby in sports to keep fit, but also to network amongst us. So we do that.
I like the networking part.
Yes, it's really amazing. And then we also have the Women's Run, which we also do once a year, and it's an all-women's run in Ghana. We come together, we talk about women's issues, we do a 5 kilometer, and we just keep fit. Yes.
So apart from infrastructure being the major challenge that you have, is there anything else that hinders the growth of sports in this country?
Well, because parents and people do not see sports as a viable means of employment, it is very difficult to encourage parents to allow their children who have the talent to play sports. And so that is one of the areas where we are trying the problems we're trying to solve. Because if we have the right facilities, if we have good coaches, and we are able to take children to the next level, so to play in international competitions, then people will start to see that, oh, this can be a career, a path for my child. Because tennis players, the top tennis players, and somewhere between $1 million and above yearly, and how many careers can give you that amount of money. So sports is actually a viable profession if you take it seriously.
You're doing very well to alleviate some of these challenges with all the things that you do. Let's discuss the general mentality, especially you being a woman fronting sports and, you know, going about your day and everybody. Don't people see you like a bully, like, hey, she's a sportswoman, she's coming, you know? How do people generally accept you and what you do?
Funny enough, no. People do not see me as a bully because the way in which I came to sports, I would say I learned on the job. Right. Because I wasn't a sports administrator. What I have is experience because I learned from the best. So before we started the Millennium Marathon, of which I was a race director, I studied under Haile Gebrselassie, who is the marathon legend, you know. And so I went to Ethiopia and I worked with this team to see how races are done. So I had quite a study. And so when I came back to Ghana and we were planning the marathon, I was a bit confident because I had that experience. And when it comes to the other sports that we're doing, I'm blessed to have some of the best coaches to work with. And so I don't pretend to know it all. I listen to the coaches, but I also do a lot of research, and I'm also trying to better my sports background.
You've said very important things. You need to study. You need to work hard behind the scenes. You need to research, and also you need to align yourself with people who are already excelling in the chosen profession. And I think that's what every young person who is trying to do something, you need to do. You need to put in the hard work. Let's hold it right there. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation. And the show is proudly sponsored by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, Roma and Tonto Master and Feco Spray. Start, look sharp. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Should you Roma to me?
And Tonto Master, a baby, she's so madahati. Roma insecticide spray ada Roma. Interfere, entatia, make it ha. No way. Shemikuno. And tonton bako crown fanimo. And also a pussy. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito coil. And my old there we sham. Roma, Ekua.
Roma and Tonton Master.
Yena. Maketiano, why are you?
Oh! Tum preco. Sasso. Mwa. Sasso.
Papa, oh, you sasso. Yena, sasso.
Yes, Sasso. Madame, Sasso. What?
Sasso.
Emo beyond that down. Sasso. Ekum tum. Ni mwa. Sasso. Tum preco.
Welcome back from the break. It's still the PL show, which is proudly sponsored by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, which is very effective and kills mosquitoes, dead, crawling, and flying insects instantly. And also it leaves a nice and a pleasant fragrance in your room. No headaches or catarrh after use. Also, Feco Spray Starch, look sharp. Do you have difficulties with spray starches in the market? Then get them best. Iron your clothes with a new and ever refreshing Feco Spray Starch. Feco Spray Starch gives you and your clothes a very crispy and refreshing look. Leaves no wrinkles, formulated to reduce clogging with a super fresh scent all day. Feco Spray Starch, look sharp. I'm still in the studio with Cathy Morton. Tell me about your childhood. How was growing up like?
So I think I have fond memories of growing up. I think I was a tomboy. Now that I think about it, because I used to play five-a-side football. I was one of 5 kids. My father was in the public service. We lived in a small apartment. I went to Pando Secondary School in the Volta region. I was crying at the time because I was a city girl and my father took me to the village and we had to weed in. But now that I think about all that, I think that it kind of groomed me and made me, you know,
stronger.
Exactly, made me strong, resilient. And so sometimes when I'm going through a lot of pressure, I think I'm used to it. So yes, basically growing up was good. I went to university.
Where?
I went to Central University College and I studied banking and finance. And because I think back then that was the craze, everybody wanted to work in a bank. And I did, and for the shortest time I realized that I was at the wrong place.
So did you have some jobs in banking?
Yes, I did. So I actually quit my job because I just realized that I had more to give and it wasn't me. Because I am an outgoing person, I like to communicate, I like to do things on my own, I like to put things together. So I quit my job and I decided to branch out on my own, and that's how I started my first company, which still exists anyway.
What's that? Tell me
So
about
my
it.
first company was into fairs. So we started the first Oxford Street Fair. The idea was, I was driving by Oxford Street one day, it was almost Christmas, and I was like, all these foreign stuff we have, foreign products and everything. What if this whole street had no cars and nothing there and we just had locally made goods that are made in Ghana? So we started the Oxford Street Fair, which was just a fair to promote made in Ghana products, and it's grown over the years. We've had the Ministry of Trade and Industry embrace it, and so yearly we organize this fair. It's huge with over 300 businesses on the street, and that's what I started. And I'm happy that it's grown to become what it is today. And we do that periodically. So that's what my first company, that's what I started doing. And then I have Actively Sports now. So I manage these two companies.
These two are very involving activities, and you're a mother, you're a wife. How do you juggle all of that?
It's hard, but we make it work. So the good thing about what I do, because it's events, we have a down season and we have like a peak season. So the down season is for family time, making sure everything at home is great, helping with homework, making sure I'm at home basically when I'm my downtime. So I have time for the family, and then my family understands that when it's time to work, it's pressure time, and we just make it work.
How does husband take all this?
Yes,
so being out there all the time.
He's been there from the beginning, and I'm happy and lucky that he's also in a similar field. So he understands.
Was the love brewed in sports or brewed in the Oxford on the Oxford street?
At all. So I gained some experience working for my husband actually. So my company has worked for my husband.
So
in the
he's
past.
into fairs?
No.
Or the sports?
No. So he has an organization, and we organize some of their events for them.
Right.
So I also gained a little experience from working for him. So he understands what the job entails, and so he's been very supportive, and he's always there for me 100% when I'm working on these projects.
Apart from him, any other supporting system that you have?
So I think my family has been great. My mom, she's always urging me on. So I grew up watching my mom doing stuff to keep the family going. So she's always there for me, and I think I have a great team. My team is solid. We always, are rolling and coming up with great stuff to make our events, as great as they are.
That's wonderful. It's still the PL show, proudly sponsored by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, Roma and Tonto Master, and Feco Spray Starch. Look sharp, and we are being hosted today by the Accra City Hotel, and I'm beautifully styled by Mode HQ. We'll be right back.
Shady Roma to me.
And Tonto Master, a baby Jumanamo. Sheso Madahati. Roma Insecticide Spray Ada Roma. Entafre, Entatia, Mekacheha. No way! Shemikuno, and Tonto Bako Crown Fanimo. And also a pussy. Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil. Emma, who dare we show? Roma, Ekua!
Roma and Tonto Master.
Wow! My uniform looks different.
Feco
spray starch. Majimo point. Rachi, pause. When you want to run into the moon, I feel you spray starch, papa. On particles be water, no wrinkles, smooth iron.
Yes, Papa. Feco spray starch. Me here perfume.
Feco spray starch.
Look sharp.
Look sharp. Look sharp.
You welcome back from the break. It's still the PL show, and I still have with me the beautiful Cathy Morton. Cathy, what do you do for fun? I know your life every day is fun, but you must have some other hobbies.
Sports is fun for me.
I know. But there must be something else apart from sport.
What I like doing, yes, is I like going on adventures a lot. Yes, it's one of my favorite pastime. So I like hiking a lot. I love traveling and going on adventures. So I like to explore different places in Ghana because I believe we have so many beautiful places that people don't know of. We're always thinking of traveling to Dubai and the rest. But yeah, so I make it a point that
Ghana has beautiful places.
Yeah, once a month I try to go somewhere that I've not been before in Ghana.
Okay, so who inspires you?
So for me, it's so obvious. It's Serena Williams. So.
I was hoping you mentioned somebody else.
No, she inspires me. I started playing tennis because of her, because I just loved her. And when I play tennis, people actually say that I play like her. So I actually want to believe that I do play like her.
But apart from Serena, anybody locally that you look up to, friends, family?
There are a lot of women that I look up to. I love Anita Skin. I think that she's been a trailblazer with what she does and trying to get women to, be out there and all that. There's so many women. I like Lucy Quist. I also think she's another.
These names keep coming up. I need to have them on my show.
Yes, because they are phenomenal women.
Okay, so I have a gift for you as well. Thanks for coming on my show. And my sponsors have decided to gift you something that I'm sure you would like. So this is Roma insecticide spray and mosquito coil.
Thank you so much.
Tonton Master and Sasso, as well as the Feco spray starch. Look sharp.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Cathy. And I'm looking forward to that unpaid competition.
I'm looking forward to you coming for one of our sessions.
I'm going to come all spruced up and then come and run. This is the PL show. It's been an amazing conversation with the beautiful Cathy Morton. This show is proudly sponsored by Roma Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil Roma and Tonton Master and Feco Spray Starch. Look sharp, and we are filming right here from Accra City Hotel. And like I said, I'm beautifully clothed by Mode HQ. Thanks for watching. We will be expecting to see you again next week, Sunday.